Yeah, I was telling Mom to do that. I mean,
I was gonna talk about my meeting.
and
We discussed that.
probably one of them was the mayor.
So, nothing's changed lately. Sure. Mom, you're gonna say
Maybe one hot air.
that? Filling in for Corey?
Yeah. Apparently I'm not in home, so I have to be here. I watched for him.
I guess. We're gonna be here tomorrow. No. That's
At any rate,
that's me.
I told them across the street, it's the same thing, so hopefully that's what they're supposed to do.
I'm not shy.
Where's your accent from?
Long Island, New York.
That's why you're not shy.
It's all better. I was like,
Well, here's the thing, you're not like unreasonably holding it,
Oh,
you know?
okay, not that far
oh,
then.
Corey.
When I got married, we had
That-
3 kids and 4 dogs.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, Thursday night,
You'll probably tell us when you come to the door.
it's expensive.
Well, it's like you said, it's all
Way in the world.
Wednesday, and then you've got that sale coming up.
Cooled out in here good today.
I think you're in good shape, and
Aaron had a cold on.
I think what we're gonna find is that even though you put a pool and you use
You got it on
personnel
cool?
and HR, you can have policies that don't, like, clearly can have policies that don't reflect, because if you didn't people, you'd have your own retirement policy. And you're gonna have that, you know, I usually don't look at it, still have to do it. I wasn't in there today, I literally just got to my office. I will be there, I think I'll be tomorrow from like 1 until 3.
Some part-time, some.
Yeah, I have canvas training in Frankfurt, and he's going around a lot, so I'm trying to get filling out lots. I would drive back. It's provided or the notice, you provided everybody.
Too much, because you know, I was spending, I was turning overdrive turkeys.
As far as I'm concerned, you know, like, wait, good reason, bad reason, moral reason, fiscal reason, as long as it's not an illegal reason. There you go.
I didn't have no big water.
Nice to meet you.
That's pretty good.
Nice to meet you. And those are faces from the picture.
Last night, it was about the first of the rain. Brittany had hail.
Figure I need it.
It's supposed to rain.
I was worried when I was coming in, some, like, Coke, tea or something, because I can't possibly have it this hour. More power to you. He's such a good one.
Rain full of tents out here. Sweet, rather silent.
Like, I can have a cup of coffee. Oh, it's one thing about remember that cannot stick with it. God forbid. See, I've never done anything with that at all.
I just text you back, they would have to park with them people. You did? No, I thought about it.
Four going to it.
Maybe 4.
They're in the Scholar today.
That's the sanitation district.
I didn't know we did that.
Yeah.
I
I had to check with you.
I mean, seriously, my problems, I'm always cold in with somebody. So,
What?
no, I don't.
You'll see it.
It's good. Good, it's a little too long. I don't think so.
I thank God.
That's about the max.
You did. I just thought it mildly.
I don't know why it's warm out. But yeah, it's sitting on like 65.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had it too cool this morning, and Karen went back there and messed with it.
Fix it.
But I think Zach refixed it. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. We'll welcome everyone here for the September 18th evening meeting. If you guys would, Michael or Jim, one of you fellas always get one of y'all to pray.
He got it last time.
Okay.
No problem. Father God in heaven, we thank you for this opportunity to come tonight and meet and make decisions for the county. Father, we always pray for wisdom and guidance when we make these decisions. We ask you to bless this court, bless each one of us here, bless the county and our state and our federal government, and just make this country, keep this country as beautiful and as rich as you proposed it to be. And it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. If you would, join me in salute our flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. At this time, Madam Secretary, would you call the roll, please?
Squire Stump.
Here.
Squire Ferris.
Here.
Squire Eldridge.
Here.
Judge Travis.
Here.
Squire Travis.
Here.
Squire Preston. Squire Cox.
Here.
All right, we're all here. Good. Glad to have everyone here tonight. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the September 6th meeting. I looked through them. There's just a few things to change this time. Biggest change is on page 3.
Bottom number.
Bottom number 3. The middle of the paragraph where we were talking about discussing the minutes. You see where the paragraph starts, where it says the clerk asked for clarification. I left that in and went down, and then the next sentence, put down a couple sentences, starts out where it says the clerk asked if the court had made the changes. I started striking there and went all the way to the end of the paragraph. I didn't feel that was necessary in the minutes. Wanted to strike those. I have some very minor on page 10. I may have a question here. In the middle there where it says ordinance 3, I think that's supposed to say ordinance 2. If you turn back on page 9 at the bottom, it says ordinance 2 there, so I'm thinking that's supposed to be ordinance 2. On page 12, the figure there where it says first motion there after number 11, it says motion made by Eldridge to make a deposit of $1,500. That's supposed to be $51,592.32. Need to make that change. That's on page 12. Page 15. Down at the bottom, Squire Cotton was talking, where it says, second sentence, it says Esquire Cotton interjected on was, I think that word's supposed to have been Kentucky through Barnes. You see it, Zach? It says, Frimity. Yeah, but I'm sure it's supposed to say Kentucky.
Sounded like Trinity on the cake.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it may have. But I know that's supposed to be Kentucky through Barnes, because that was who made one of the bids. That's on page 15. And then page 22, again, these are small, but if you look toward the bottom where it says, the judge said there's plenty of room to build a 350 foot in diameter, that should be perimeter. Those are the only changes that I saw. The only deletion is on page 3, and everything else is just minor changes. If you want to find anything else that you need to adjust. Hearing nothing, I'll go ahead, Jim.
On page, this on page 17.
Yes.
Right above the agenda summary sheet, and you made that comment, and I just want I'm not saying that's not what you meant, but I think, so you said Steve Clark, our building inspector, will oversee the construction of the shelter.
I noticed that, and that's not, well, whatever I said, the intent was that he would take our drawings and, see, he'll be the building inspector, is what I meant. That's what I meant by that.
That's what,
Yeah.
so people don't misunderstand what,
Yeah,
because the construction manager is much different than buildings.
yeah. Well, I guess we should put in there that Steve Clark would be our building inspector of the shelter, of the construction.
Oh, he absolutely will be, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll strike out that word oversee and put that we'll have Steve Clark as building inspector for the construction. All right. All right. Anything else anyone sees? We'll make that change on page 17. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as with the changes suggested.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes with the stated corrections.
Second. All right, we have a motion by Mike, seconded by Will, to approve the minutes with the stated corrections that were mentioned. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes.
Sorry, Ferris, are you abstaining since you weren't here?
I'm sorry.
Are you abstaining since you weren't here?
Yes. Yes. I don't know, I can approve them, yeah, but everybody else, I read through them.
You understand our changes?
Yes.
I feel
I
like.
was wondering what that was too, when it from.
All right. All right, well, thank you for that. Next is the September 11th meeting, and I don't have anything to change other than that date up there is the 6th and it should have been the 11th. I'm trying to find one right here in the book. But anyway, I didn't see any changes to the minutes from that meeting.
Give me just a second.
Oh, it's on page 36. No, it ain't. Sorry about that. 39. Yeah. Yeah, the only change at the top, and Lynn can make that quite easily, from September 6th to 11th. That was when the four of us were here.
Motion to approve the September 11th minutes with any recommended changes.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Zach, second by Will, to approve the September 11th meeting minutes with the listed change. Any discussion?
I'll abstain from that, I wasn't here.
All right, Jim's choosing to abstain.
Maybe I just can't find it in here, but I don't see the language in here where we talked about corrections that we wanted to make to like the resolution to the health department fund.
Yeah, I've got, we discussed it and I had them read, and I've got a new resolution that I'm gonna ask y'all to adopt here just in a minute.
Okay.
That'll have those changes.
I'll abstain also.
All right, Jim and Dan will abstain voting on these, so it'll just be the other four of us. All right, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor of approving these minutes, say aye. Aye. And all those abstaining, be Dan and Jim. Y'all good with that? All right. Motion passes. Lynn, I got these minutes right here, since we didn't change nothing, I signed them, so here you have them. If you don't mind passing them to Lynn, they'll be ready to record. All right, next item on the agenda is a communication from the county judge. In your, I hope in your packet, if not, I got ones here to hand out. Did y'all have those new change on the resolution?
Yeah.
The health department resolution, yeah.
Let me see, turn the page.
Page 42.
This one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Second.
Thank you, Doug. On page 42, yeah, basically, we changed that language. Michael, do you see page 42 there?
Just got to it.
Okay,
I was catching up.
all right, but But I spoke today to the district health department. I didn't pass this out because we hadn't voted on this one, and I didn't want to pass the other one out because it didn't have the changes that we had discussed. But anyway, we worked on making the language there in that second paragraph, basically with a lot more force and meaning. So none of the figures have changed, but we've tried to make that a little more, just a little more forceful, I guess.
I
So,
like it. Well, yeah,
good enough.
well, yeah, I think the wording that is interjected into it now further shows our need,
Yeah.
you know.
And I will say today, when I presented it to the district board, I know Shelby County Judge Executive, he said, I'm trying to add a fifth ambulance myself. And of course, he went on about what they cost and you know, how it's just so expensive to run them. So anyway, he basically pointed me out and says, I support, you know, your thoughts here. So I'm hoping that'll pay us dividends down the road. Now, the county meets on October the 2nd. So I'll make this presentation to them. So, but anyway, with this new resolution, since we made some minor changes, I'll entertain a motion to approve this new resolution, and that will replace the old resolution, and we'll go with this one.
Motion approved.
Second. All right, we have a motion by Mike, seconded by Zach, to approve the new resolution that's stated here in our packets. Is there any discussion? Madam Secretary, if you would call the roll, please.
Judge Travis?
Yes.
Squire Travis?
Yes.
Squire Cotton?
Yes.
Squire Stump?
Yes.
Squire Ferris?
Yes.
Squire Eldridge?
Yes.
All right, thank you. So we're good to go on that. On page 43, the Water Management Council meeting, we had that here today, and I'll just kind of abbreviate what we discussed about. We discussed the city and their water projects for the Kentucky Industrial Authority. There's funding mechanisms that the city utilizes. For example, up on Mill Road, that project that they have just completed up there, that was on the burner last year to do, and that now they're starting hooking people up. And then they had some other projects that are going in the future on the water. And I started mentioning to them about the different sewer proposals on how we need to move forward. You know, my thoughts are what we discussed at our, with the interlocal agreement about we're going to need to be able to hook up, we're going to need to be able to track our use. One thing I can add that we weren't aware of last meeting, a special call meeting, Harold Compton mentioned that the water meter information has to be shared with the other utility for the billing. So that'll be covered whenever that goes to take place. We'll have that. Any water? Yeah, they're good and cold. So, but anyhow, I don't have a lot other to add to that, but I just wanted to put it in there and let you guys know we were discussing. That takes care of communications that I have. Unless anyone has any questions about any of that. So now at this time, I'll open it up to the floor. If anyone in the audience would like to, any citizen would like to speak to the court, you're welcome to speak right now. You're not already on the agenda, so I don't see anyone jumping up. So we'll move on. And first I have someone from the Springs County Humane Society. Says Victoria Snyder. She in the crowd? Glad to have you. I know you are aware of our plans to build an animal shelter.
Yes.
Everything goes right, we'd love to have it under roof by Christmas.
Okay.
That's a goal.
So this, what I'm asking, or we are asking, is for a partnership with the Humane Society and the animal shelter. We would so what we're asking is to join with the animal services, be partners hand by hand. We have our own board that has our own liability, we'll have workers' comp, we'll have all the information with it. We have a vet on staff with us. Right now, for dogs, for Spencer County, it is averaging $200. I can bring that down $92.17 at cost. But with it, this is for the taxpayers, this is for the community. We're asking to be in one facility, hand by hand, working together, allowing Nick and Victoria to actually be animal control officers, not cleaning kennels. That would be Spencer County Humane Society's responsibility and our staff. It's not ours and theirs, it is a we. It is working with Nick and Victoria and the Animal Control Committee he has told me about, working on policies, procedures, different programs. I have been working on this headstrong for about 6 months. I have talked to over 300 different humane societies across the United States. Right now, I am actually the office clinic manager at Nelson County Humane Society. There is no conflict of interest. They are aware that I'm wanting to do this in the county in which I live, so there's no issue onto there. Our main piece is that we are asking in the same facility is an office space, a surgical preparation room, a surgical room, and examination room. So that we can give the community and the taxpayers those low-cost spay and neuter services, those TNRs, those basic checkups where, unfortunately, we've all been there before when we can't afford $172 at Elk Creek. I'm just saying their name because that's who I called today on numbers to get the most recent for you guys. Again, like I said, I have a vet that is on our payroll that she is willing to do the surgeries. We just have to have the area for it. We know Spencer County is in need for both feline and canine, and we are ready to give that help. But again, we want to work side by side with Nick, Victoria, the animal committee. We don't want it to be ours or theirs. And one of my favorite words, and you can ask the rest of the board, is transparency. If somebody donates $100 and they say that they want that to go to paying off the building, then that's where it's going. And they will see directly that that check or that amount went to the county to pay off the building. If they want it to go to spay and neuter services, that's where it's going. Transparency. So when people give money to Spencer County Humane Society, write that off, feel good about themselves as they should, but it is traceable. It is, hey, this month of September, we received $1,728 in donations. 1,000 of it went to pay off the building, and so forth.
I saw that you are a 501c3, I guess, nonprofit.
Yes.
You know, one thing that I will stick with, and I'll stick with it as long as I'm in this seat, is that to understand that the final call in Spencer County Animal Control is with our animal control director.
Nika said that to me, and I guess it's funny, and I laugh about it because I can't imagine a different answer than that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine someone saying, no, you know, or one of our board members can go pick up that. I can't imagine that. So absolutely 100%. The board is 100% on agreement with that. That's not even a thing in our head. Our policy and procedure book, all of that is not complete fully because we want to work, no matter what the outcome is for the courts, we want to work with Nick, Victoria, and the committee to be together.
Are you associated with the Friends of Spencer County Animals or that organization, whatever you call it?
Hometown Mutts.
No.
No.
There's no rescue.
Are you associated with
Louisville Metro?
Yes.
Yes, and Kentucky Humane, as well as we are with the bond. There are multiple rescues that I work with Nelson County that as getting facts and information from them, I've called and said, hey, I'm starting this in my own backyard, you know, at my home base. And all of them are saying absolutely. We want to help, we want to be there, we'll,
What will you guys get out of this by coming out here?
it's funny, because it's our mission. When I see, today alone, you know, at Nelson County, today alone, I took 2 calls from Spencer County for cats. Nelson County can't help.
Yeah.
So I know that those cats might end up.
If I could just give me a minute and give you a little experience, I just had adopted a dog. I went to the Kentucky Humane Society in Her Lane, and beautiful little lab pup, the liking gonna take him home. Well, when they read the application, it's gonna be an outside dog. Our contract will not allow us to adopt dogs that are not gonna be kept inside the house. And I said, I got chickens, they don't stay in my house. I got cows, they don't stay in my house.
Absolutely. So
That's what
I'm a common sense girl. I live on a farm myself. There's a great care needs right next door. I know they don't come in the house. I know people don't have dogs and cats. I know this. So when the board gets together and we have, you know, do the adoption piece, and then Nick and Victoria and the committee get in, we know this. This is not you have to be indoor cat, have to be an indoor dog. We know there are dogs and cats that live outside. We know that. That's not going to be a no factor.
So you don't have to follow the rules of the Kentucky Humane Society?
Absolutely not. So with humane societies, they are their own entity. But in order to be trademarked as a humane society, you have to get with the United States Humane Society and get their approval. And we have, and we trademarked.
So, I'm not familiar with Nelson County, but I'm very familiar with Franklin County.
Okay.
Humane Society partnership with their animal control, and it is 2 entirely separate entities. It allows animal control to just strictly deal with animal control.
Yeah.
They're the animal control officers. The Humane Society basically runs the shelter.
Yep.
They do it very well. Matter of fact, they just got $5 million to build a new animal shelter. The Humane Society was the ones who did it. And,
We have people waiting to write grants for us.
yes.
But it is having that relationship, as well as a lot of grants require a facility. So if I'm applying for a grant that I have to have a facility first, then I have to pause on that and apply for a grant that does.
They also, through the Humane Society, they get, like I said, the veterinary services and everything are probably half price as to what they have their own vets, they have their own clinics, they have, this is in Franklin County.
Yeah.
And I would assume y'all are working kind of under the same rules. But it's been very beneficial to the outcome of the animals there in Franklin County.
So does this Humane Society work in the county's animal control office? Like, with the years
Yes, they
share
work out of the same building, it's the same building. They take care of the building and the animals, and the animal control officers respond to the calls and,
That's Plan A.
You guys want to say, I think
That's
it's
Plan
fine.
You know, our new building plans do show these offices and things that you're talking about, so.
Does it have, surgical areas on it, a little bit of it?
So the
Well,
surgical.
it had a room with a wash-off room, the stainless steel tables, and vets, and do spade.
Right, for a surgical room, we had people waiting to actually donate the surgical tables and the supplies that we needed, so it's basically, we just need a large enough room to bring into the supplies. The room itself, obviously, a county building, properties inside would be large, but it's not, that comes with paper and taxes on all of that, but not, oh, you can't touch that or use that, it's one. It is one to the community and one to the youth.
So when did you guys get this started, like fairly new? Today is the first day I've heard about the Spencer County Humane Society.
I have been working on some kind of humane society for a little over a year. In July, my mother passed away, and it was the last thing she told me. She said, get off your butt and get it done. And so I went live with it.
Well, this is relatively new.
Yes. August 17th of this year is when trademark, LLC, insurance, all of that was ineffective.
My question is, if with Plan A is packaged, which I like the way it's written out, do you have the funding already there to, say tomorrow we open up, grand opening, we have tomorrow, and you all come in and partner with you?
I would have it in 24 hours, not tomorrow morning.
Well,
But I have people waiting to donate and waiting to, yes, yes.
I just, I like the idea that, maybe partnering with them would allow our animal shelter and our animal services, a wider umbrella of services to offer to the community. I want to be, it's always in the back of my mind, but, if it turns into a monster and ends up costing us a bunch more money than we wasn't anticipating later down the road. So that's just, I think, as long as they can, can you guys, these services that you guys are gonna offer, are you all, how much money are you asking for from us, or is that gonna be fully funded by y'all? Or?
Yep, nothing. Nothing. We just need the building. We just need the building and the support of the county behind it, but supplies, all of that. Plan A, we would supply, we would have everything.
I was just making sure, that's the way I read it.
No, and 100% it can be down into legal jargon, because I'm not good at that, that if something were to happen and our contract is over, all entities that are left there are y'all. So would it be, oh, well, yeah, it's been going good, but the relationship with the Humane Society is bad, or any of that type of stuff? Well, when they leave, they're gonna take it. Ours is the mission, so it would be there so that the next.
What's the animal control guys think?
Yeah, I like what Nick's version of it.
Yeah. If you're prepared, if not, we can discuss another time.
We've talked about it.
Well, I guess what I'm saying, at face value here, do you have an opinion of whether you would be welcome to this idea, or you're saying, no, I don't think this is the direction we should go? From your position, what's your professional opinion?
I personally think it'd be a great idea. I think it's gonna help. There's 2 or 3 factors to it that I think are gonna be huge. If we've got an on-staff vet, I've been trying to get TNR started for a long time to get these cats taken care of downtown and all over the county. We've got an on-staff vet. We don't have to transport cats into Louisville in order to, get that TNR service started. We can do it right here, right there in the shelter. It's gonna allow us to do that. The services that they're gonna offer as far as having an on-staff vet, it's gonna save us all kinds of money. I can tell you because I see it every day. We take dogs every day to for medical needs. It'll save, the community, taxpayers, huge amount of money. And the third thing is if we have a staff through Spencer County Humane Society that's in there cleaning and stuff like that, we're going to be able to take our business hours and we're going to be able to expand those out. I've been planning on doing that with the new shelter anyway. We can have some Saturday hours and, we can offset our shifts and, it's just going to open up. It's going to open up to where we can have longer business hours. We can be more available in the community. So, I think it's a great idea. I'm not an attorney. I don't know, like she was saying, I don't know all the legal jargon and all that kind of stuff. That's, for you guys to decide, but, my personal opinion, I think it's a great opportunity for us.
What's your opinion of farm animals versus pets?
So my personal opinion is if I can eat you here in the United States, then you're a farm animal. But we understand everybody's personality. Our vet is willing, so right now, she's all on board for everything, but obviously she has to make money as well. She has guaranteed us Mondays and Fridays, but as we get the funding and as things pull in, she's gonna give us more. Her veterinarian license and certificate is from everything from bovine to guinea pigs. So she is willing to, as we get to those parts, be able to say, okay, well, today we're gonna have a goat day, or yes, I can travel to a farm with some of the staff from Spencer County Humane and take care of, you know, a horse or whatever it might be. She is open and she says, let's do it.
You know, we're a big chicken county. You know,
I have 174 chickens, 4 turkeys, so, yes.
How many of you will be on staff daily or regularly?
So, I don't think I have a breakdown here. So we will have, if Plan A, we will have myself, I will be there as an office clinic manager. We will have a front desk staff, and then we will have kennel attendants, one for felines, one for canines. Those kennel attendants will take care of anything in quarantine as well. That's again why we want to work side by side. If Nick goes out and gets a dog that's been in a fight and it's in quarantine, our staff is going to be trained what you're supposed to do as well as what Spencer County requires, the laws and the ordinance of Spencer County.
What about, do you answer the phone?
Yeah. And so the phone piece would be if we are one entity and how, you know, looking at it from that side, however we would answer it so that the community knows calling in if there's a loose dog, we would work out some type of protocol that, okay, well, I answered the phone, there's a loose dog on Chestnut Drive, however it might be. Is it a text to Nick in Victoria or is it a phone call? Then it's, I'm a big sheets person. I like documentation in sheets and, you know, tracking things. So it's okay, I've taken that, I've wrote the report, I put it into Nick in Victoria's office, plus I'm gonna put it on a sheet so that it can be watched and maintained through whoever dies.
So you mentioned contracts, so you work under a contractual basis with the county, so we would, if we decide to go into a partnership, we'll sign a contract of some length, and then.
That would allow us to be in the facility and do whichever plan and those pieces, and in turn.
And then that contract's renewable or non-renewable, whatever we decide at the end of the contract.
By terms, it could be.
Of course, I'm sure we have to go to
You're
your office.
Absolutely.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, yeah, that would be,
Absolutely.
The whole 9 yards.
that
Yeah,
would be.
Yeah.
All of it didn't
Yeah, I mean, tonight's just a starting informational type piece of this, and I mean, it's what we needed to get started with the thought process. You know, again, I'm not gonna say we haven't broken ground, but we have broke ground out there. But anyway, you know, so we won't get tied down too long, but that'll be our process, is we will get with Nick and get with our county attorney and kind of go through, you know, the pros and cons, and then we'll be back in touch with you, you know, at a later date.
Well, I would say if you wanted to,
Out there, maybe remove it a little bit.
they wanted, well, that too, but they wanted to have a contract already drawn up, but them start going over. We gotta know where they're standing at with what they're wanting to do, and then we look at it, we are getting paid, send it back.
Yeah, I'd say we, you know, now that we've got a presentation, you know, y'all jot down some things and share it with Corey and Cheryl about things that have your, you know, interest, your concerns and things. And then we'll get something together and we'll consider it down the road. I mean, that's, y'all satisfied with those steps?
Yep.
Do you all have a draft agreement that you've got in place with other entities or does it?
What about your Nelson County? I mean, would there be an opportunity that you could share that with our county attorney so we can have a starting point?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, Hutchins is the judge executive there, and he said, because I told him again, being open and honest with everything about that, he said, well, whatever we can do to start it there, that's, you know, yeah.
do you have a plan that you prefer?
That I prefer?
Yeah.
I prefer A. I prefer A because it allows, it saves some taxpayers' money, saves a lot, because then the animal services or the committee is not hiring staff to put into there. It allows Nick and Victoria to go out and do their actual jobs. They're put there, and it allows us to fully help all animals, both felines and canines, and not okay, well, you're bringing in a dog, let's see how, you know, and making sure.
So plan is more inclusive, and, I mean, covers everything.
think it looks good on paper.
All right, we'll do
And
our
everybody has our
diligence.
emails, so if you have any questions, concerns, or anything.
Okay.
Nelson County Board Plan A then?
No, Nelson County now is Plan C. They have split, the board decided, and I'm not on the
I was
board.
just curious since they were dumping that book.
Yeah, they, I have the old one, though, from where it was all one entity.
And
I'll
absolutely,
provide it to our office.
yeah. And absolutely, any question you all have moving forward, communicate with our animal control officer.
I love
You know, the buck stops with us, and he is, he represents us in the community. All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Julie, you're up.
Okay, we have 3 second readings.
Page 51 is where we start.
I'm not sure which one you all got in the book first. but
First.
I've got Michael Jr. and Carla Schindler and Sharon Petty requesting R1 residential to Ag 1 agricultural on 0.822 acres, tract known as Tract 1A. It's located at 5660 Little Mount Road, which is Highway 44 East. Commissioner Wheatley made the motion to recommend to rezone the application of Michael Jr. and Carla Schindler and Sharon Petty requesting zone change from R1 residential to Ag 1 agricultural on a 0.822 acre tract known as Tract 1A of land located 5660 Little Mount Road, Highway 44 East. The recommended land use map in the comprehensive plan recommends mixed use. The change would be in compliance with the comprehensive plan, and there was no one there to speak against it. That motion was seconded by Commissioner Mudd. Motion carried.
I make a motion to change the zoning based on facts and findings of planning and zoning.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Will, seconded by Mike, to approve this second reading of the application that was just read based on the facts and findings. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. All right.
Next, I have the application of Dennis and Kim Blingel requesting Ag 1 agricultural to B2 commercial on 3.27 acres and Ag 1 agricultural to Ag 2 agricultural on 5.70 acres located at 2760 Little Mount Road, which is Highway 44 East. Commissioner Hunt made a motion to recommend to rezone the application of Dennis and Kim Blingel requesting zone change from Ag 1 agricultural to B2 commercial on 3.27 acres and Ag 1 agricultural to Ag 2 agricultural on a 5.70 acre tract located at 2760 Little Mount Road, Highway 44 East. The recommended land use map in the comprehensive plan recommends mixed use to high-density residential. The change would be in compliance with the comprehensive plan, and no one was there to speak against it. The parties have also agreed that they will limit themselves to the use of an RV and boat storage with plans to do maybe at least 2 buildings on 3.27 acres. They also agreed instead of tree buffering, they will substitute a privacy fence due to the property being almost solid rock. That was seconded by Commissioner Mudd. Motion carried.
Motion to approve the zoning change based on the facts and findings of planning and zoning board.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Zach, seconded by Will, to approve the zoning change based on the facts and findings, and this is second reading. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. All right.
Next, I have the application of Paul E. Koch requesting Ag 1 agricultural to R1 residential on 2.3033 acres known as Tract 1B, located at 1200 block of Dutchman Creek Road. Commissioner Travis made the motion to recommend to rezone the application of Paul E. Koch requesting zone change from Ag 1 agricultural to R1 residential on 2.3033 acres located in the 1200 block of Dutchman Creek Road. The recommended land use map in the comprehensive plan recommends low density residential. The change would be in compliance with the comprehensive plan, and no one was there to speak against it. That motion was seconded by Commissioner Knoll. Motion carried.
Motion to approve based on facts and findings of the planning and zoning commission.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Mike, seconded by Dan, to approve the zoning change that was read based on the facts and findings. This is second reading. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Anything else?
The only thing I'll mention, because I'm trying to think of my dates, I don't know that we want another fiscal court meeting but actually I think we will. I've got several, planning commissioners and staff that will be going to Frankfurt to the CAPO training in October. So we'll close the office for that one day for training purposes. But anybody here that would be interested in that, like I said, it's at CAPO, and I would welcome you all to go, invite you to go. It'd be a good opportunity just to learn a little bit more about planning and zoning and our processes.
Yeah, I went to that a couple of years ago for 8 hours that day. Very, very.
So we
get training hours?
We get training hours?
I'm gonna say you
We
probably
did,
would get
yeah.
your training hours for
Yes,
it. I mean,
yes.
it's offered through CAPO, so you should.
Yes.
It's in October.
Do you know the date? October 2nd is our next meeting.
Okay. I've got the 11th on my brain for some reason. That may be a Saturday or something.
I think it's.
But yeah, but,
That's something.
but it's, I think it's a Wednesday is when the training actually is on Wednesday. But I'll
Okay.
keep it out to you all. But
Send
it's on the
us
CAPO website.
an email.
I can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, I don't know what their topics are gonna be at this point, so, it may be more on cell towers, floodplains, and everything else I never know.
Yeah, we need to learn about all that.
Exactly, but it's good to know the process and everything. So, all right, thank you.
Register for that?
So what?
They need to pre-register?
You have to pre-register. I have already registered,
Yeah.
like I said, the planning commissioners and the staff, so. All right,
All right, well, good to go. Thank you.
thank you.
Now, of course, we're going through reports. Emergency management, Chris. I think the radios are a little further down.
Since Julie brought it up, I was going to mention CAPO on October 3rd for elected officials is doing a class in emergency management to help elected officials understand more what the Office of Emergency Management does, especially under declared emergency. And you do qualify for your training hours for that as well. They're actually offering that class the 3rd and the 4th at CAPO in Frankfurt. So that is really all I have.
All right. Thank you.
You got to register online if you're interested in going.
All right, yeah, if y'all want to know or want to go, reach out to Chris or my office and we'll get you looked up. Next is parks, Mike. I've got a few things to mention a little later, so, one thing I got in mind, y'all think about it, because we'll talk about it later, but for now, till in a minute or two, what y'all think about blacktop and water for park, when we put gravel? Y'all just ponder on it for now. Safety committee, Dan?
I have nothing to report.
All right, solid waste, Jim?
Nothing to report.
Veterans, Dan?
Nothing to report.
All right, equipment, Zach?
Nothing to report that I can think of.
And we're on roll. Telecommunications? Telecommunications?
Nothing to report.
Administrative code, Cheryl, don't know if you have anything to add?
We do, there's a policy that we've reviewed for the county clerk's office, but that we recommend for the whole county concerning the attendance policy. When someone requests leave in advance and for whatever reason that leave is denied, and then they end up missing the same days that they've requested in the previous request, we would recommend that you require a doctor's note or similar acceptable circumstance to be approved by whoever the manager is of that person, and that failing to have a proper note or acceptable circumstance for them missing those days would be subject to disciplinary action up to and including termination. So we would recommend a change for the entire county to have something similar to that.
I think it's an excellent idea.
You gonna bring that up down the road?
Yes, and I've provided both Lynn and Brittany policy language that would be acceptable for that.
I mean, it's pretty standard with anywhere else you work.
Yeah, it's to avoid people gaming the system of a request off that's denied for whatever reason, which obviously is typically going to be a good business reason of why you've denied that leave request, and then suddenly they happen to miss.
So what's an example of, something that should be acceptable?
They were in a car accident that day on the way to work, or a doctor's note. They went to the doctor, they have a doctor's note excusing the absence. Some sort of exigent type circumstance barring that, but not just calling in and basically having no reason for the call. And basically, you would treat it then as a no-call, no-show, potential job event.
What about if they ask and then they get denied and then they choose a sick day? Or they take a sick day?
Again, I think they requested leave in advance. The leave was denied, and I think that it is different than when you call in sick and you're sick. If you're sick, then you need to have a doctor's note if it's encompassing days that were previously involving a leave request.
Of course, we require the doctor's note on the third day.
Right, that's under FMLA. This is different. This is where someone in advance says, I plan to be out
It's like they want to request vacation.
Wednesday through Friday, and for whatever reason it's
If I
denied.
request something a month out and tell me now I'm gonna take off, maybe that's not probably going to work for me.
That's probably,
So sometimes things are not.
Now is you have to have a third day before you signal
That's why it's
doctor's note.
Well, on the third
revising
day.
it. That's why it's a recommendation to revise it, because right now, someone can game the system. They can tell you, I'm gonna be out Friday through Monday, and you could say, you know what, we'd love to give you that time off, however, we've got no one else to cover Friday through Monday, and it's gonna require us to shut down the county office. Say, for instance, in your office, Judge, if you were gonna be out, Katie's gonna be out, and Brittany's gonna be out, and Katie or request, hey, I need this time off, and you say, you know what, that would, I'd normally say yes, but however, Brittany and I are both planning to be out that day on Friday, so we need you to be here. And then suddenly on Friday, not Brittany, but Katie calls in. And so the issue is that if it's not an absence that would otherwise be covered by a doctor's note or some sort of exigent, unplanned circumstance, if it's just happenstance that you're calling in on the same day that you requested off that was denied, then it would subject you to potential disciplinary action up to and including termination.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be like Will, I see disadvantages with this myself. That's just me.
I ask a question, is the department head?
Yes.
I think it gives them the support that they need to run their departments.
So under our current administrative code, our employees have sick days, vacation days, and personal days. My understanding of a personal day is if I got personal days to burn, and I wake up this morning and just honestly don't feel like coming to work, I have a personal day. Is that not what a personal day is for?
It is, but it's not to negatively impact the business. And if for some reason we have EMS shut down because you're both out, I mean, you may want a personal day, but if everybody else is out, the county kind of needs you. We can't just shut the county
It'd
down.
be like if you're already like short on people and somebody calls in and says, we're doing mandatory policy.
So we have a mandatory policy, we can't shut down the EMS. But also in the admin code, it requires our employees to, I believe it's 30 days in advance, it might be 14 days in advance, to request that time off. So if that employee is requesting vacation time at 2 weeks ahead of time or 4 weeks ahead of time, that's a reasonable amount of time for us to find that coverage and not deny that.
I don't think you should deny that. You got 30
Well, I'm
days
saying
out,
if you
it's
deny it,
undeniable.
Well,
if you approve it, then there's
on the
not a
other
problem.
hand, if somebody else already has that vacation scheduled, and you request it, it doesn't matter when you request it, you can't have it because somebody else is already going to do
Again, it's
it.
looking at the needs of the business, because whenever you approve any sort of leave, the needs of the business control. And you're gonna assume that people are not gonna unreasonably withhold consent to allowing you to use those days. You're going to assume that people are gonna act
I
reasonably.
think if you
in
have
that
good
kind of
department heads, you ain't gonna have this problem.
So we don't allow like an entire shift to take off without coverage. We cap it at like 2 people per shift are allowed to be off at a time. So if the third person requests off, we're not gonna flat deny them, we give them the option, if you can find the coverage, because we're not gonna mandatory somebody in to cover this. If somebody will take voluntary overtime, or you can find a part-timer to cover it, because that's the third spot that's requested off on that shift, then at that point, we'll go ahead and approve it. But if you're requesting 2 weeks off in advance for a vacation day, I don't know, so I want to take off October 21st, I put that request in there. Like, I have no idea of knowing right now when I approve that request, if I'm gonna have 3 people calling in sick on the 21st. am I supposed to call and cancel that person's time off at that point?
No, because you've already.
That's a different
scheduled it.
scenario than
Different
what's
So
scenario.
I'm trying to imagine a situation where we would deny a request
Well, let's
off.
say you got two people off, can't spare another, and then the other person says, look, I need to be off that week too, and you say, well, you gotta find coverage, he's like, screw you, that's your job to find that coverage, and then they don't come in anyways, and they don't come in, you don't have a mandatory policy, that they're in trouble for not coming in.
It's the
So
same
now,
thing.
she's making a mandatory policy, to CYA, for administrative offices and other things of that nature. It's the same thing. You're calling it a mandatory policy, she's calling it something else, it's the same thing.
It's a tool in the belt of the employer that the business needs it.
We're not denying, it's not gonna deny anybody else any more of what they're already getting.
No. And if they've got the personal time and it's approved, it's gonna be an approved
Yeah.
personal day. What I'm
So as long
saying
as you're
is,
approving time.
if it's been, if it's a known in advance request for an absence that is denied, presumably you're denying it on a reasonable business reason, and not just because I don't like employee X. And if that's the case, then they then miss those days. It gives you a tool to say, no call, no show, or job abandonment, disciplinary action up to and including termination. Again, if they come in and say, well, Chris, the reason I wasn't here was because I was in a wreck on the way to work, that is different than, I just didn't come
In the
in.
state of Kentucky, you're the lawyer, you can do that without a policy, correct or
Absolutely
wrong?
you can.
So I thought.
But I
But
guess I'm just
to
not
be fair to
drafting.
employees, one of the things that you look at
I
with
understand.
employees with unemployment, the standard in Kentucky is misconduct.
Yeah.
I've had a case where an employee threatened to kill a supervisor, did it in an ER where doctors broke confidentiality, called the police. Police come, they warn the supervisor, employee X has threatened to kill you. They terminated the employee, and the unemployment commission, we won at the referee, we then lost the appeal, had to appeal it up to the unemployment commission. He said, well, it was a work rule you had that the employee says they didn't know. It's in the handbook that you can't have threats of violence, but basically it's a work rule, and the reason you want to put it in your policy is because when the employee says, I didn't know if I had requested leave, and then didn't show up on those same days and didn't have a valid doctor's note or other reason that my employer accepted that I could be terminated, and then you cut off unemployment because they had a work rule they were advised of.
I'd say unemployment's still gonna win the employee, not just personal experience.
No,
managing
it's
another
very
company.
difficult. Like I said, I lost a case
Yeah, we
where they
really
threatened the
shouldn't
supervisor.
have.
I wanted to appeal at Franklin Circuit Court, but when you look at the time, I think the maximum you could get under unemployment was $8,000. Is it worth the $8,000 to appeal?
Yeah,
Most people would say yes, but then you think during COVID, unemployment went from the max that you could get was 8,000, went for 2 years.
yeah.
So, I mean, it is a cost to the county that we can try to put a prophylactic in to keep the county, you know, to at least say if there's a work rule, the employee was made known of that work rule, and then they filed the work rule, and that's why they were terminated.
So it sounds like the best reason that the boss would not tell the employee that, you know, you're not granted is because you would be short on help.
Short on help, business needs. It's the busiest day of the week for my office. We have Project X coming up on Monday. You're requesting off on Friday. It's the busiest day of the week for this particular office. And we have this other project that's occurring on Monday, so I need you here, and then the employee still doesn't show up. But it would be, you would presume that when people use this reason, it's not gonna be just a willy-nilly say, no, I'm not gonna grant your leave. There's a business purpose.
Yeah, you would hope there'd be a good business.
You would hope there would be.
I gotta say, I can't wrap my head on a legitimate reason other than staffing to turn down somebody's request for time.
Well,
off.
You ain't turning nobody down, there ain't no problem.
So if we're,
Again, it is
the big
a,
reason.
if other than staffing, so.
it's a tool in the toolbox. I'm not telling you ever have to deny anybody. I'm just saying that if the judge wants to deny, because the judge is gonna have an office that is otherwise not staffed, the judge would then have the ability to say, I'm denying leave, and you can either provide the reason or not provide the reason.
Well, that's, I'm gonna suggest,
The next question I got is why, if we're making this mandatory, then we need to make it mandatory that they have to give a reason, that he has to give a reason why.
I would like to see as a department head,
As an
a
employment
list of
attorney,
valid reasons for me to deny, because the employee is gonna come back and ask that.
Well, I wanna see
But why'd you put your policy?
Yeah.
You're the director of EMS, make your policy.
here's the thing, again, as the employment attorney, I will tell you, I don't like to necessarily give reasons if I don't have to. You can fire, Kentucky's an employment at will state. I can fire you for a good reason, a bad reason, or morally indefensible reason, so long as it's not an illegal reason. If I say, I don't like orange shoes and you're wearing orange shoes, I can terminate you for that. You would hope that adults that want to run a business and that want to have employees that want to work for them would not do that. They would only do it for a valid business reason. But again, it would be up to, in the county policy, it could be in the county, up to the judge executive's office, HR. It could be up to the division head. You know better on a daily basis what employees you have coming in than the judge would. But it's just a tool, again, that would be in the county handbook for employees to know. If I request leave and it's denied, I potentially could be disciplined over this, up to and including termination.
Scott, is this like up for like,
No, we're not gonna vote on it tonight.
well, then I say for the case of time, let's revert it back to the committee, let them discuss.
Right.
and then
Right.
just-
I was just letting you know, this is a rule that the committee's
Well, this
going
is
to
turning into
propose.
something, we can back this around to.
Right, all night, right, I'm ready to move on.
Which committee's
also.
gonna work on it?
The administrative code committee.
And that,
And we need to
Julie,
know who all's on that administrative code. committee.
Corey.
We got a lot of other things we need to look at.
Corey, myself, Jim, and Dan. As long as my
We need
list
to
is
add some
correct.
department heads on there. 'Cause
Well, yeah, we've got more discussion to do on that, so.
Again, it's just a proposal.
And I've got another thing to bring up on administrative code policy, and all I want to do is just tell you some things that came about. You all know we voted last time to change where we put the traffic device language and added the sheriff's card to that one list. Well, when Brittany and I came over and basically pitched it to the department heads, and then I opened the floor up and I said, hey, you guys, we're here, tell me what's on your mind. And one thing that was brought up was about bereavement pay. We don't have bereavement pay. And an idea that was tossed around was 3 days potentially, and it has to be a grandparent, a parent, a sibling, or a child. So we're looking at 4 generations. And 3 days may not be the magic number. Right now we have 0, correct?
Well, it used to be in there and then it got took out the last time it got adopted.
Right.
So we could almost look at, maybe even go back to what it was in there. I don't
I
know,
think 3
but we
days is
could
pretty
look at
standard.
what it
Yeah,
is, but
I
yeah.
agree.
How come spouse isn't doing
What's
Yeah,
that?
spouse should be, I
Spouse should
caught
be
that
on
he
it.
left.
I'm sorry, spouse. Right.
And I would
spouse.
also venture to say to also include step-parents and.
Yes,
step-parents.
plus steps.
But like I said, we could always go back and pull the old book and see how.
And
it
then,
works.
and then you could also, I know Mount Washington had this, and it only came into play a couple times over 10 years when I was there, but also any other family member that the department head, or that the manager feels necessary meets the requirement for this, because that way you can get somebody that, that,
Of course, this is paid time off.
was raised their entire life when they was 2 years old by their great aunt or whatever. You want to be able to honor that request, but they have to choose, if the department head shows that, yes, this would also qualify, this is the person that raised your entire life, yeah, we're going to, you have a caveat in there
I
that.
think if you make it too broad, it's too broad.
Well, I think if you leave it
You
at the
need,
discretion
but
of the
we
manager.
have a lot of, there are so many leave options for the employees, personal days, sick time, I think that it should be a defined statement to say, these are the people that are covered. Now, if you want off to go to a funeral, then yes, we'll grant you the time off to go to a funeral. But you can take a personal day, you can take a vacation day, whatever, or you can take off unpaid leave.
We'll grant you or we won't grant you.
Yeah.
So you gotta go to the funeral and we say, no, we're gonna be shorthanded that day,
But
we'll be
if
tired.
you just leave it an open statement that, well, okay, well, this guy here, I agree, he grew up next door to me for all my entire life, so I think I ought to be able to go to his funeral.
Well, we weren't talking about going to the extreme, we were talking about those of us that were hired in, and that was in the policy, and then it got taken away from us,
Yeah.
and that's not right.
So I agree that the way the old policy read, if this is what Scott was saying, I agree with all those
I
people.
can't win. I want to not take off, I get yelled at. I say, yeah, let them have off if they're great advertising. Dan's like, no, we ain't doing it. I can't win.
Keep trying, Mike.
Well, we ain't gonna do that, so.
Hey, I'll say this again, for the sake of time, let's revert this back to the committee.
We'll do it, we'll consider it all at once.
Can I win that statement?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You got it.
Something to do later?
Well,
Sleep. We'll consider that all at once. All right, that was page 54. Did I miss any committees, anyone?
sure, come on.
Well, I got two more. Tourism, economic development. I got you on there.
The Lasana sent me a thing, said they're gonna be coming out with some more details on the Christmas in Taylorsville, what they're looking to buy and everything together.
All right, and she is in her office, when she's not somewhere else, so you guys stop by and see her. I think it's still working on it. But it's down here at the Honor Realty. They sprayed insulation in the roof. And when you come in, you kind of smell it, and then you think, well, it smells like paint. And then you need to sit by an air freshener for a bit, and then it don't smell bad. But hopefully it'll get better. I suggested to her to go on Amazon and get something to do the hair, like that thing back there or something. To get something that she can dump in her sink, don't have the holes. But anyway, but she is in and open for business. Buildings and ground, Will.
I ain't got much other than the roofing guys are gonna start after the Oktoberfest.
All right, yeah, they came out today. I know Darrell took them up on the roof, Scott, your brother. Your brother took them up on the roof today.
You left my brother to go up on the roof. He can't walk on flat land.
I was gone and the other fellow wasn't here, so. Anyway, they got to look, but you say after Oktoberfest.
What,
He said that's what y'all, whatever y'all
Well,
was.
I suggested that because it will be set up on Oktoberfest in the Rock, all around the
I
courthouse.
think that was a good idea.
Yeah, and then he is in contact with Becky Robinson and Circuit Court
Yeah.
to where they're not conflicted, best we can.
what have we heard from Walters on the plans? What do you think we have?
We have paid him $2,000 to get started. We've signed the documents, and he said he would have them a couple weeks. Again, I'm trying to rush it along. When I told the lady earlier I'd like it to be under the roof by Christmas, that's still a goal now. It may have a roof and not have any sides on it, so, let's just have a go.
How much did we get done down at the park with the dozer?
All right, dozer's gone. I dozed 12 hours. I know you dozed 3 at least. And then Todd and Keith dozed. And we got everything done that the dozer needed to do. The area, all the rock is leveled off behind the dollar store. And then all the dirt that was piled around for the last 12, 15 years, smooth it all out. I started disking yesterday and got rained out. I mean, really got rained out. I couldn't pull the disc anymore, so I quit. But I've got the grain drill. I've got 1,000 pounds of Fiscal seed in Brian's building over there, ready to seed. I'm gonna go ahead and donate a buggy of wheat. I'm gonna sow a buggy of wheat on it. I'm gonna sow this Fiscal on there, drill it in, and before Halloween, it'll be green, dark green. It'll be this tall, and it'll look beautiful.
If we get rain.
Oh, it'll come up. Since it rained yesterday, it'll come up. If we sow it this week, it'll be up. That wheat will be up 3
Well, we
days.
will.
And then the Fiscal will come on up, but it'll be nice, pretty green. And of course, I gotta do some work and get it leveled out. Imagine the kids out there running. We can't have a dip, we can't have rocks. We gotta do some picking up and do some, we call it root work. Well, I can chop up blacktop. This will chop up blacktop if you run over it enough, not rocks. But anyway, we got started on that with that, so. Anyway, next on old business, the fence in-town lot. I handed out one more bid that Rates, R-A-A-T-Z. Thank you, Julie. I'll lock everything up. And then we already have 2 bids. They should all be in your packet.
was like 17, 18, 5, and 22. I don't know what he was at the time.
You're really close. 21,578.
Yeah, and 10, No, Shuck was a low bid, I believe.
Yeah, and the area is leveled off out there.
I want to compliment you, that, and Zach, or whoever worked on it. I went past it, down, man, I turned around, went by, and it looked fantastic.
Yeah.
I drove a pickup truck around on it a couple times.
Did you?
Back in the day.
Well, I
It
had,
looked good. It looked real
I had the
good.
county
I'm
guys
impressed.
with the road grader, and I said, hit that with the grader and get it level as you can. They had the skid loader out there, and, you know, got it. And yesterday, when it was pouring down rain, you know, the water was sitting there and kind of running away. But anyway, yes, everybody did good on that.
Progress looks good.
I'll make a motion that we accept Shuck Fence Company for $17,000.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Jim, seconded by Dan, to accept the Shuck Fence bid for $17,000. Is there any discussion?
Can we go ahead and get gravel put on that
Yes.
before they start?
They said Shuck, we met with them.
Mm-hmm.
They're not gonna start for a month.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I'm not saying tomorrow, just,
Yeah.
and I'll let you know when I
Yeah, we
tell
can,
him that he got the contract. I'll try to get a timeline.
now I'm gonna ask the court for some gravel money to put some more rock on Ray Jewel.
Mhm.
And it won't take a lot, because it's already hard as a rock back in there. But anyway, we can probably put 4, 6 loads
Yeah. I
in
think-
there and take the box blade and grade it all out, and that'll have us a good starting point. We can always add gravel later. But,
Looks like we didn't have a dumpster down there when they started. You read it, rubble removal, I'm sure they were getting that rock far, but it
yeah,
says
well,
the property owner is responsible for all removal of rubbish from the premises. I don't know why I can't talk today. But anyway, so that's saying they'll put it in a dumpster if it's there, or if not, it will be left there or hauled off their feet.
well, what I did the other day, there was a brush pile down there that they had the tarps come off the ball fields years ago. They had them all mangled up with telephone poles, some big long telephone poles. Well, I took the dozer and I rubber through it all, and I put the tarps in a pile and got the telephone poles out, and they took them to the road barn, so we saved them. And I had them come with the dump truck, pick up all that crap tarps, take them to the road barn, put them in the dumpster. So we do have means to accommodate the rubbish.
Is there enough, rock in that this is gonna go up by $70 an hour?
Well, here's something that I will do. We can take our excavator, our little track hole from the road department, and they can come down here and help dig these holes. I want to do the same thing at the hoop barn that we built for the salt.
That's all, a lot of rock.
Well,
They're probably not gonna wanna help doing that when they get started. They're gonna wanna do it themselves, because they're gonna put a rock field on an auger, so it's still a nice hole. And the
Yeah.
excavator's gonna pull out 6 foot.
but, well, true. But anyway, regardless, we'll do what we can.
Is there a lot of rock underneath it? There, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
there is.
Big rock.
Big. I would count on this being about 5,000 higher than what it says.
Because of the rock. Of course, the next guy's bid be the same too.
Yeah,
He
they're
got
all
a drill rock.
All of them got to deal with rock,
Yeah,
whoever.
they're not gonna do it
Right.
for free. I'm sure somewhere in these other bids, he's got a rock clause.
But,
But maybe they'll just put them all in, painted, and
yeah,
Man, we'll get lucky.
some will go and, yeah, it'd be good. I mean, I don't know why they have to drill. I guess they're gonna set them in concrete, so
yeah,
how big will it be? Foot?
they're 4 inch posts, I think.
But, I mean, will it be like an 8 inch drill?
Yeah, let's 6 or 8 inch.
Yeah. But anyway, we had a motion by Jim, seconded by Dan, and I'm opening up for discussion. Any other discussion? We'll go ahead and get moving on, so we can get out of here early. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. We got it locked, Scott.
Okay, do y'all need anything else from me? If not, I'm leaving. I don't think you did, but I just want
We
to.
might need to get action.
I think we're good.
Somebody can come in and want to.
I deputized Chris Wimper.
All right, next on the agenda is the EMS radio, Chris or Robert. We put these aside till you guys can come here and tell us.
You should have a quote from, I never say it right, J and N in Carrollton. They're the state contract price on the radio. Everything was to replace, when they switched to P25, 4 or 5 years ago, whatever it was, we bought all new mobile radios, but they bought some very old used, refurbed, old style radios. And it got us through until now, but we've had 4 or 5 that have had like motherboard failures and some other things in them, and they're just not repairable because they just don't make the parts anymore. So that is just to get us back our 5 radios that are not operational.
It's like, if I remember this correctly, like, to repair the ones you got, you might as well just go ahead and buy 5 new ones.
Well, it's got to the point like they can't even, some of the parts they
Some parts I
can't even
can't
get.
get anymore.
So, yeah.
How do you miss a radio?
Miss a radio?
Yeah, missing radio.
There is one that is missing. It probably got misplaced on a run somewhere or left behind, and the crew did not.
You already reported on that one?
I can't tell you when it happened. It wasn't reported to me, but we did inventory. The radio was not, it's no longer in our inventory. So I honestly can't tell you when that happened. Because not all the employees that live in the county are issued a radio so they can respond from home if something's close to them. But we also have to, by KB's mandate, have 2 radios for each ambulance. So at some point along the way, that radio got misplaced.
Do you
I would think
do
every
you own
ship does inventory.
Do y'all not sign like them out? Like, it's like,
No,
negative, it's
we
like
have-
your radio's missing, so what's up?
We do not. So the new radios, we are going to, we can program them to where it is assigned to that truck or to that dorm room. So when the next shift comes on, they can say, hey, dorm room 4's radio is not here, and we can go to the person who's in dorm room 4 and say, hey, where's your radio?
I gotta get a good cost, some sort of policy to be in place.
Yes.
Definitely for $1,000 a radio.
Yeah, I'm just saying, moving forward, let's learn, you know, we do have inventory now.
Yes, we have, every one of them.
So we got 3 quotes and,
We do not have 3 quotes, that's the state
J&N's
contract.
the cheapest, right?
That's the state contract, so it is the cheapest.
Okay. Do you want to vote on this tonight?
Yes.
Yeah, we
I make a motion that we use J&N to buy these radios for $93.52
No,
$49.
you almost died.
5.
Oh, he wants
That's
that?
46.
76.
Turn back.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Put a little,
okay.
put the brakes on them thousands there.
Okay, for 46, 76, 20.
Second. All right, we have a motion by Jim, seconded by Zach, to approve purchasing 5 of the radios from J&N for the EMS. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you, Jim.
We've got the radios, interlocal with the city. I have nothing to add to that, other than, I thought the city had voted us down, but they chose not to vote, and they're still working on language. So I'll just run on past that while we're still working. Page 65, I don't remember what else, I basically just need to tell you where we are. I went ahead and where we voted to buy from the Mattingly Hoop Structure, told them to get us down. So that's in the, he's getting it together. I don't remember what color I told him, just a basic color, because he wanted to know the color. And but anyway, the plans are, you're gonna come build it in that facility, in that one spot we talked about. And then after we get that done, we'll need to get somebody to concrete the floor. Now, the building we bought, 3 sides are gonna be enclosed, all the way down, basically. The back's enclosed and the 2 sides are enclosed. The front will be open. And
They started working on getting anything cleared up there.
Yes.
It ain't exactly ready, but they getting there.
I'm surprised.
I need that dozer for about 2 hours, and I've had it all ready, or an hour, I probably had it ready, but anyway, they've gotta do some more cutting or some more filling.
You just got a dozer and iron, people fix the world.
Now, it don't look much, but I can run over with a disc.
And then if he has this, world poverty, world hunger, I mean, it's over.
Anyway, but, that ain't exactly true, but what we do have to work on is, and I got Eric Bean working on it, y'all, we approved that. We may have to do a retention pond, that he's gonna check with what other counties have done. And then also where a truck leaves with salt, you gotta be on a blacktop, you can't be on gravel. You gotta be on concrete, because you gotta catch it. But the way it lays up there, the good part is we do have the fall in one direction. So whatever we have that washes off site, we can collect it and make it go into a pond. So all that's still in the process.
It's not too hard to build enough retention pond.
Yeah, right.
I'm good in my half right. But so,
Fiscal's got this.
so any other discussion on something? No, no. But anyway, I just, keep, I want to we'll keep it rolling. I also put in here on page 66 about the Old Hetty Bridge. Eric Bean asked me, you can see on the 1 and 2, they had a proposed, this is during our term, but they were looking about putting in a skewed type bridge, where the way they were going to skew it across the creek. If you see in the 2A and 2B, it's kind of going to mess up sight distance, going to take more right-of-way acquisitions, so forth. But if they go with the 3, addressing those two problems with A and B, they've got another way they can do it. And basically, Eric Bean was asking me, you want me to go ahead and look about doing it this other way? And I told him sure. So if I need to tell him different, you all tell me.
So they're gonna change the direction, they'll go across it at an angle instead of making that 90 and then they'll.
No, that's the way I would read this, they're still staying with the 90.
Well,
It's
look at
just
one
less
here.
than 90.
Says the bridge, the existing bridge deck is here, but then they got the road.
Yeah, but you're moving it, you're just moving it out. Well,
Oh, wait, I see the new ones here.
yeah, so why can't they,
Why can't they angle that?
yeah.
I'm not saying,
I'm just going by what he,
I said on the bridge expert,
I
I did build one.
mean, I don't understand that at all.
but anyway, he was gonna go this other way, and we were talking by email, but I wanted to put it in there to tell you. Basically, I wanna tell the community that we're still working on this Old Hetty Bridge.
Well, I understand that, but I think that we need to, talk to them.
Well,
That's not really.
The abutments are running. The
I mean,
abutments
put
are
the
running.
bridge in there, yeah, but it's not gonna straighten anything out.
Well, if,
I had a straight road and a straight bridge, and now I have
Crooked road and a crooked bridge.
if y'all would, call his cell number there and y'all chat with
Well,
him.
hey, I was looking at here, it's like the abutments are straight with the banks. Like, it's gonna be, but they're still laying the bridge across
Yeah,
it.
but you can still put the abutment to the straight to the bank, and you can run it in there.
Well, I think that's what we're doing.
No.
Are we looking at the same piece of paper?
Are y'all looking at 69?
I'm looking at 69,
That's what I'm looking at, 69.
but that big bridge is running.
The existing bridge, they're moving it down, so if you're pulling on the bridge, if you're coming onto it, move it down further to the left. They're not really changing anything. They just put, instead of having a washable bridge, they're just putting a regular bridge there.
Looks like different angles, but
I mean, this is, in fact, the previous course, you all remember, got this ball rolling. We had that one fella drowned on that bridge, and then that puts it way up the list. That actually adds $1 million to the cost. And so you're that much closer to getting something built that'll solve the problem. So the last court Jim was on, they voted to move forward with it. So here we are now, and I've been trying to push it along to keep it going. And
The whole purpose was to get rid of the washover bridge, not to make it straight across the street.
well, to have it up high where nobody will get washed off of it.
Yeah. All the designs since the start of this process have been to take out, the main goal is to get rid of the washover bridge and take the hazard away there. But in doing that, every design they've had, since even before this mitigation project began, was to get rid of that 90-degree coming off of there.
Yeah.
We have been
What's
approved.
it at 88 now?
We have been
oh,
approved.
come on, it's 85 if I hear.
We have been approved, what they call Part A of this mitigation grant, which is for the development and of the bridge, like the plans and all the environmental studies and the cost and impact studies. So we have been approved. It was up to $140,000 on that. And so as long as we meet and come up with a design that all of y'all are happy with, and it makes it through the environmental, like they don't find like endangered species or rare artifacts in
The red crawdad.
Exactly.
Great American albino.
So, as long as it meets all of those, I'm fairly confident this project will move forward, since the federal government's putting $140,000 into it just for Part A. So, But every design I've seen since we've started had the, what you call a skewed bridge, that, it's an actual bridge, not a washover, that takes that 90-degree out as well.
Yeah, we had one that even showed the height of the bridge, you know. So
Well, I mean, they widen the angle some, but I'd like for it to be widened more if possible. If you're talking about buying the right of way,
We were
say you
there,
can't buy another 30 feet.
we were there, we had the EM conference 2 weeks ago, so 3 weeks ago, we were there at the National Weather Service because they brought out some signs, some turn around, don't drown signs, because once this project got through, it hit their radar also, that gentleman had lost his life there. And there was a large truck came through, it was a semi truck, and he was able to make that 90-degree turn, but it was,
Wow.
it was kind of sketchy watching.
I can make it well. I'm not calling it a 53-foot trailer.
But,
Well, they'll-
anyway, if y'all would, we'll keep this rolling, y'all give Eric Bean a call, his cell number's right there. I'm sure he'd love to talk to you. But I just, again, wanted to tell the community what we got going on, as well as you guys. On new business, page 73, Doug's here to answer any questions you have on standing orders. Standing orders are things that are paid monthly. And since since Corey's office sold to new owners, we need to change the standing orders list to the Gill Brothers. And then we also need to add Lisanna's office, which is Arnold Realty, for the $850, and then the county attorney's office is $750. I need a motion to add these two to our standing orders list.
So moved.
All right, have a motion by Zach, seconded by Mike, to add these two items to our standing orders list. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Next, page 75, well, I was gonna, yes, 74.
You got a price on it yet?
On Blacktop? No.
I just think about it yet.
Yeah, I just wanted y'all to think about it from then till now.
I did, and I thought we didn't know what the price was.
Yeah.
Well, do we want to give you the okay to go ahead and get a quote on it?
Yeah, I got 2 or 3 things to go about here. Since you talked about the blacktop, I'll just focus on it right now. If y'all have noticed at Waterford Park, we've got those bright lights up now. And I need to get RECC to move that one that's pointing on the gravel. It needs to be a little more out in the gravel. I got a business leader in town that tells me about all these lights where I got them a little wrong. And anyway, I told him, it's actually shining on the fence. It should be shining on the gravel. But anyway, we're gonna make that change. But Brittany, when she takes her daughter to soccer, she loves having the new gravel because now there's enough parking space. And there's a few rock in there that I hate anyone to walk on because it may twist their ankle. So far, I guess everybody has it, but nonetheless, when we got Mago out here, and I'm gonna read y'all a list of the 19 roads we're getting ready to start blacktopping. But while we got Mago working for us, it'd be a good time for them to give us a bid on blacktopping over that gravel. I just want some direction from you guys. If you'd like me to let them give us a bid, we don't have to vote. You just tell me. And since they are we awarded them our bid for roads, I guess that'll qualify for any job we do. You reckon, Cheryl? That sound good?
I think the end goal is to blacktop it anyways, just make us assume that.
But I think it's piped down good, even after, the rains we've had, it seemed to be firm. No one has done donuts and tore it all to pieces, so I think it's piped down good.
I parked on it just the other day.
And, but anyway, so I'll just, when Mago gets out here, I'll tell Todd to get one of the Mago guys to give us a bid on what it costs to blacktop that.
Is it all bed screwed right now, or is it just like surge or something? Three months,
It's all got fabric under it, so it should hold up pretty decent.
you're gonna have to put some more bed screwed on top of it before they blacktop it.
Okay.
They'll probably ask for 3 inches or something. Yeah.
If y'all would take a look at it and get with Todd, y'all come up with what it needs, and then y'all tell me,
They gonna have to do what it needs.
Yeah.
He'll look at it and say, look, I need 3 inches of fence grade or whatever. He's the guy, you know, if I was you, I'd just call him, tell him, look at it.
All right, I mean, I'm not gonna tell him yea or nay, I'll bring a price back to you guys. Y'all good with that? All right, now on the same page, we need to, Doug and I had talked about it, we need to get some money appropriated to the work we are doing at Ray Jewell. Where I see us in the future is I see us applying for another one of those land and water grants. We need to get the road roughed in, get gravel put in there, that way next spring, when everybody's out here fighting over ball fields, we'll at least have a gravel road where they can drive back there and play ball. And, but the end goal would be to have a parking lot somewhere back there, have facilities, you know, a bathroom there somewhere. And there's room up on the build up where the high school is. We can build facilities that will not flood, which is be my goal. I don't think I could support building something down there that'll flood like we got, you know, on the other side of the highway at the original Ray Jewell. But there you was limited. You didn't have any other place to go except where they are really.
Like Ray Jewell 2.0.
Yeah, this is 2.0 that I call it that we're building. I don't know why, but anyhow, there are places where we can build a little building and it never will flood. Be right on the road there. Where we have the animal shelter come in, we'll have a water line. Of course, we'll take electric there. We'll be able to hook on to the sewer. We'll have all that there. But that's down the road. With that land and water conservation grant, we'll try to get funding for that, the facilities and blacktop. But to get us to where we need to go, I was going to ask just for a starting figure, $25,000, so we can go ahead and put more rock on that. For the same $25,000, we can put some rock on the. Of course, I mean, it's going the less money you put in and the more you spread it. You all know the thinner it's going to be, but I just need a starting point to where we can dedicate some money to put gravel back in there. So I was going to ask just for $25,000 to put gravel at the Ray Jewell 2.0.
Do I need to get in a motion?
Yeah.
Parks man,
What's that?
Parks man, make a motion.
You gonna second?
Yeah.
All right, have a motion by Jim, second by Mike, to transfer Doug, is that the right word? From the capital line to the.
I've got 2 or 3 transfers to add later that we can
Okay.
put in there, but
Well, anyway, we'll
I was
move
thinking
to.
you were looking for 50,000 at one time.
Well, I got to add it
Grace
up,
and see.
and I got to add it up, I mean, where we're doing the work, you know, you can buy a bunch of gravel when you ain't paying a lot of help. Now, we do have to pay our road department, you know, at some point. Well, y'all know what I mean. We've got a lot done and not spent a lot of money so far. But anyway, I think that'd be a good start for 25,000. I mean, if we need more, we can talk about it down the road. But anyway, motion by Jim, second by Mike to make a transfer to the Ray Jewell Park expansion of 25,000. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. The monthly financial.
Before you do that, I have a quick question. I had one young boy at school filled out all his paperwork and stuff, where he could co-op for the
Yes.
road department and other.
Yes.
Where were we at with that? We talked to anybody or?
Got interviews this week, but not with road department folks. I got 2 departments that we're having, well, 2 folks we're having interviews one day this week. They have already given me a list of names. I mean, I've got the list over in my office, to get with me.
All right.
But this is a list that the school has put together. But yeah, that's
Supposed to come Monday.
that's happening.
Probably Monday.
Okay, but anyway, we can, you know, if someone's interested, we need to interview them. Even if the school don't have them on that list, if you guys think it's important that we should interview, you know, obviously we'll let them interview. So, but it's in the works.
Thank you, sir.
All right, the monthly financial, we voted on that rock, didn't we?
Yep.
All right, monthly financial is just for information. If you have questions about it, that's running from page 75 to 90.
I do have one comment.
Yes.
Are we gonna get that one page ledger of our ARPA funds, what we started, and how we got moved one side. to
And what's
the
on
other.
the wheel, man?
It's in your packet. Next item, let's see. No, it ain't that. It's a,
So right now, the quarterly report, the ARPA reports are done quarterly. So the last quarterly report was done at the end of June. So end of September, we'll have another report that'll be submitted back with Kit's help and everything. So we should have one, I don't know that we'll have it October 2nd, where you have that page, but we should know with how much we've used of it, with using salaries and things too, but
I think it's gone.
I don't remember seeing the June.
We haven't seen anything yet.
Well, we give you all something and it didn't satisfy you, I know.
it had everything on that report, so.
I thought it had all the information on it, but I didn't have it laid out.
The original agreement would have made it real easy.
Yeah,
But,
you take $1,000 for the.
You know.
and that's happened.
To show where we had 2.5 million in ARPA, we transferred it over into the general fund, and we still got that. My whole thing about this is, that money's all gonna get genuine out in one piece, and we're gonna come back and say, well, we spent all that for ARPA money on that, remember that, this and that? And we don't have 2.5 million to build a pavilion, animal shelter, so that's money, and it's gone.
Well, I think we should start getting it included at least once a month, where that balance stands.
Well, like you said, they do them quarterly, so they don't change till quarterly.
Well, like I said, I don't remember seeing the June, I'm not saying it wasn't there.
I mean, probably by the end of this quarter, it's supposed to be probably used up, especially, the only thing that maybe wouldn't be is where we still got the commitment on the ambulance, the broadband stuff,
Yeah,
but
It's
once
fine,
it's
but
used
John,
up,
where's it at?
Well,
In reflection, it's the court's problem, not me speaking for myself, but
if you look at your financial report, under that capital projects other, we transferred after the last ARPA report, we transferred like $1,900,000 or something to that effect to put in capital
pretty much
projects
capital
other.
projects other is the line item we're all looking for, correct?
well,
And that line item to begin with, we had set up, when we first did the budget, we had the 50,000 for the salt
That was the only thing
bar
in that line
deal.
item?
Well, it's still in there with it, but on one of the transfers I've got put together, helping with Scott tonight, we wanna make, transfer 50,000 to another account where the salt dome, everything that's been out of that one line is out of the salt. And then put another line item where we put the improvements that are going, Ray Jewel Part 2 or whatever, we were talking about the 25,000. Have a line item for those expenses come out, where it'd be easier for you all to see that how much money we spent on those projects.
I don't mean to speak out of turn, and I don't mean this in any kind of way, but, you know, some of the court here, we're all relatively new, and I know Will's asked this question, you know, I have too, about, you know, how much ARPA money is left. And not that anybody is being misleading, or, well, you know, there's never a straight answer of, here's the figure, right here, that's how much money that you got left. But we got, well, it's in this account, then you gotta take out of this, and then we transferred this, and then we paid for that, and then this came out, and then we put that in there. I couldn't tell you how much money we
well,
got.
I could, and that's my problem, you know, we supposedly started with.
3.8.
No, well, I know that, but we've spent, I'm talking about when we decided to do this, transfer it over, you know, spend it. We had what, 2.2 maybe, something like that, 2.5?
2.3.
So just, I wanna see where that 2.5 moved from ARPA into the general fund, and we just didn't spend all that, it being in the general fund. It still needs to be labeled and not, almost like encumbered. You know, you can't spend this because this is ARPA money until we vote on spending.
We aren't spending it until you all
No,
vote
no,
on it.
but it's all transferred over into the general fund, right? For spent, you know,
The ARPA money is sitting in the general fund.
But I
mean,
got a question.
Can tell me exactly.
Yes,
The capital project pavilion has got $250,000, that's ARPA money that's in the line item, right?
right,
Capital project animal shelter's got 300,000 in it, right?
ARPA, yes.
All right, then capital project others got 1.9 million in it. My figure is 2.5 million.
Right, that's what I want to see, what we started
It's
with.
right there.
So when we get to the end and we want to build a pavilion, we've got $2.5 million to build a pavilion and not come up and say, well, we don't have that because we had to spend that out of the general fund to pay for all this hoop barns and everything else we built. That's my point.
Here's where I think we're gonna be. The county got 3.8 million in ARPA funds, and we've had good carryovers, Doug, from the past, and we've got,
Like 5 million and something at the end of last year, I think.
yeah, you're gonna have a whole lot bigger number than a littler number.
Our carryover at the end of the start of this year was 5,442,000 in the general fund.
I mean, we got 2 million in CDs, and I mean, that's kind of, I see that's ARPA sitting there earning us interest. We're getting $8,200 some dollars a month out of those 2 CDs.
But you know, I just want to kind of watch
Yeah.
how we spend it for the next 3.5 years.
Yeah.
Is so, you know, we get down to our last year in office and say, oh man, we don't have enough money to pay the employees now because we've spent it all doing all this, even though we've got it now. You see,
Yeah.
we might are looking, maybe not spending it so fast.
But right now, the only thing we're spending in ARPA money on is salaries, when you get right down to it, other than the dump trucks we bought.
I mean, you know, we have bought a lot of stuff. And I don't say that, I don't want it to sound like that, us just buying stuff. We have played catch-up to where this county was so short of necessities. And we've tried to catch them up. We've got, you know, we can have a statement here at the end of the year and talk about you know, how the year progressed and what all we've accomplished. I mean, you can already look and see, you know, we've upgraded the sheriff's vehicles. We've upgraded the EMS and got another one on order. You know, we've taken care of that. You know, we've made small upgrades in Lynn's office, you know, with the countertops and things. We worked on our building out here. We're developing a park. We're getting ready to build an animal shelter. You know, we're looking to acquire property by Country Mark. You know, we're doing a lot of stuff. We were up at the road department. We've made the biggest investment any court ever in history of this county probably has made at the road department. You know, we bought a skid loader. We bought 2 or 3 trucks, put beds on. We got everybody called up. Build a salt structure. You know, we've done a lot of things, and all that costs money. And yes, everything I just said, I don't have it on paper of what it costs. I need to get that for y'all. And I keep telling y'all that I need to get it. And then when I've told them, I go back tomorrow, we'll have this discussion because we've already had it. You know, every time y'all brought it up. And we try to put numbers together. And then, I know one time we did bring a folder bring some numbers. But they're confusing when you gotta put them in those lines that the state makes you put. All these lines are in a book that they tell you can only do this line. Well, no, I wanna make a new line. You can't just make a new line. It's gotta fall in this category. Because the auditors are looking for that money in that line.
I understand.
Anyway.
I don't wanna have to bust it. If somebody asks how much ARPA money we got, I don't wanna have to add 5 lines together, bust out a calculator and everything. I just wish somebody would have that figure on hand and can say, it's this much.
Well, you know, Doug could put together an unofficial letter to give us, say, here's what it is. It doesn't have to be in there. You know.
But it's really more of a what have you spent it on versus what do you have. Now, I understand we're spending it here and saving it over here. You know, I keep pitching out that $2 million is a good point. We've got $2 million. That's ARPA funds.
And right now in ARPA, technically, there's $1,376,748.14. We have purchase orders written on $785,000, which I know 2 things that are in that, the $500,000 for broadband, and you new ambulance.
that we ordered.
So even if we spend up all the ARPA money on the salaries, when we transfer that money out of ARPA, when we're done, we need to probably set up an account for 500,000 for broadband, because as a court, we've made a commitment to trying to get broadband in the county. I mean, regardless, we may not ever spend any of that 500,000. We might need the whole 500,000, I don't know. And all, but we also need to, even if we spend it all on salaries, we still need the budget for this new ambulance that we've already ordered. And that's not to say, and then we've got, in the capital projects, we had 50,000 budgeted, that was for doing the Sept project. That is, and that's probably my fault, that's where we transferred the ARPA money and put it in the capital projects. We'll try to correct that tonight, make it a separate account just for the dome, Sept dome. Then we have 250,000 in a line item for the pavilion, 300,000 in a line for the animal shelter. And technically, I guess that's the only lines that right now, but like I say, in the capital projects other right now, technically there's $1,802,182.28 sitting there. And then we can transfer that around from there to whether if it's fine, or if we decide we want to use ARPA to pay for the 5 radios, or anything y'all want to do, as long as it classifies. But we're going to soon have it spent up with using the salaries against it, and then we have it sitting there line item. And
when do you project it would be spent up in salaries?
I think we add it all up, it's about gone. I mean, we're paying 40,000 a month for jail. We paid 250,000 for, 300-some thousand Keiko for insurance, and then we're paying, what's a month in salaries, 250?
Well, the Keiko, the insurance and all was on last time, so.
But it was still ARPA funds.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll have, by the end of October, I think using salaries, it'll all be spent up, and then we'll still want to then label some of the projects we want to set up in the budget or leave in other or whatever, and then, not touch it until something comes up. The pavilion might not be enough. We might buy land for doing the pavilion or whatever, and we've got the money sitting there in the line item.
So,
Simple about next meeting.
Yeah,
can we,
well, I just think.
to simplify how we can look at this, can we take more of the money and put it in, say, okay, we're gonna transfer this much money back into the animal shelter, this much money into the pavilion, and then, for some reason we don't spend it, we can always transfer it back out.
Yeah.
We'll probably need
But
to do
it
that
would
once
be-
we get the bids on.
Yeah.
But if we change our budget, we gotta run it through the Department of Local Government too.
Now, we can do the transfers at any time. You can do the transfers tonight if you wanted to transfer another 100,000 into the pavilion or another 100,000 into the animal shelter or whatever.
We can do it anytime.
Or we can do that next meeting or whatever.
When we get a bid for the animal shelter and it's what we love and it's more than budget, we can add to the budget.
I just want to,
I was just thinking-
simplified way of looking at
Yeah.
it. It don't have to be official, if you just write a letter, if he writes a letter that just passes out at the meeting, so this is this.
But we were lucky that we're able, technically with the lost revenue portion that was passed, court, we're able to claim salaries and everything before technically, we're spending the ARPA money on things that we would have to be budgeting for anyway. Regardless if it's EMS salaries, my salary, your old salaries, or any of those that are in there. Now, we don't claim Chris's because part of his salary, we do get a little bit of reimbursement back from the
Federal.
state and federal government on EMA, so.
Yeah, emergency management director.
But about everybody else's salaries is coming against it, so I mean, I think last year and the matching and all the total salaries for the whole year was about $3 million on county payroll.
I mean, but anyway,
For the sake of time.
yeah, for the sake of time,
Still
I hear you, and I have heard you all summer. I tried to put these figures together, and we'll still work on them.
I'll send you an example of what I think I would like to see.
All right, do that, that'd be fine.
All right.
I mean, I see what you're thinking, I see it in my head.
If you have suggestions, if you'd like to see some of that money put over and be put in a transfer, whether it lets Scott, myself, whatever, know, we'll.
I'm saying if we got $2 million in CDs now, right?
Yes.
Are we gonna use that for, or you say that's ARPA money? Okay?
Yeah,
Well,
What
it
I-
used to be
what I-
ARPA money,
what I-
it's general fund money now.
No.
yeah, ARPA fund.
I agree, but it's just there. We know that we've got $2 million there, and it's gonna go towards.
Capital projects is what I got in my head.
So why can't we put the total amount of ARPA funds that we started with, 2.5, in the CD and make it 2.5 and not touch it until we get ready to do it?
Well, we may need it, I need to share this with you all. Y'all aware that another piece of property sold in Taylorsville for $243,000 an acre, where Taco Bell's coming in. They paid $600,000, the deed is recorded, for 2.46 acres. So I contacted our appraisers that gave us appraisals before. Of course, that sale hadn't happened. And I asked them to do the appraisals again. And one of them today said it'd be $750 to do another appraisal because that sale didn't exist when they did the initial. And I said, that'll be fine. So we're going to get, both appraisers are going to reappraise it, and they will include this fresh sale of $243 an acre. And of course, we're already, one of them was at $660 and one of them was at $600, and the property's $750. If these appraisals come back above $750, which is a 324A the KRS requirement for counties to purchase property by a certified appraiser that's 324A certified, we can write a check and buy that property. So that's going to be, if we get that done, that'll be a big bite. But at that point, we'll own the property and then money will start going out. I'll tell you something, while I'm on this subject, and y'all good with, me and Doug will still work on getting those papers. All right, so I'm gonna move on if y'all good. If we get this property purchased, all that dirt out here by the Valley Cemetery, that clay dirt, our county tracks could haul that dirt. And I'm gonna contact, unless y'all tell me no, I'm gonna contact and say, hey, what do y'all take for that clay? By the load, we load it, we haul it. I put, well, I'm gonna try to get it for less. I know they sold it for 70, 75 early on. But anyway, I'm gonna see what they would take for it, and we can put our guy just hauling it. And of course, we're gonna need to take we'll probably do like they do, have their Taco Bell, get somebody to push the topsoil away, and then we can start piling that clay. But we can start doing that this fall once we get the property purchased. Since that dirt is right there, I mean, they ought to be able to get 15 loads a day, 20 loads a day pretty easy. Either I could. So, but anyhow, I mean, I'm just looking at that as an option for us. Not going to obligate nothing until I talk to you all. But I just,
How much clay is that?
a bunch. I mean,
Probably 1,000 bags of loads.
or more, 1,000 loads, enough for us to do what. Of course, once we get this land bought, we all need to go out there and we all need to share our visions of what we see needs to be there, where it needs to be placed, so we need to get
Up out there,
community input.
We need to fill that in, half the
Yeah,
level.
we're gonna need some fill.
Yeah, that's what we could do first.
Gonna need some
Not
fill.
even worry about it.
And I mean, we could stockpile it and then move it on site later. It'd be better to dump it on clay instead of dumping it on topsoil. But regardless, we'll see what we can do. But I mean, I'm trying to put 2 and 2. Taco Bell, I thought would be buying clay up there. They're hauling
Coming out of Middletown,
Middletown.
that's where it's coming from, yep.
no telling what that's costing, but anyway, that's just a thought I have on that, but that's probably gonna, if those appraisals come back, and, we're real close there anyhow, if they come back, we'll be ready to purchase that ground. And the seller's still willing to sell it to us even after this other sale took place.
But not that you couldn't put more money maybe on into the CD, but I mean, you're really getting ready to start probably here in the next little bit to start on the pavilion and the animal shelter, not maybe the pavilion, but the animal shelter
sure.
and some of these park projects. I don't know that we want to strap ourselves too much.
I would say again, Walters is gonna give us those proposals, those stamp plans, and then, once that comes about and we get people to bid on our building, I mean, we easily could have $200,000-300,000 that goes into that. I mean, a couple hundred anyway.
Have we already voted to advertise for bids on those plans once we get the plans?
No, we haven't.
I mean, could we now?
I'd say I probably need to get the plans before we advertise.
We gotta apples to apples, so we better have the same plan.
I just want to make sure, I mean, that would speed the process up, knowing.
All right, I want to move on so we can get out of here. I want to tell you all the roads we're getting ready to blacktop. And these are, I told Todd today, we were having discussions on what all these cost. Part of them are budgeted money. These are the budgeted money roads. Day Road, Tyndall Drive, Whitetail Drive, those equal $207,000. And then Peachtree Court, Pine Court, and Lakeside Drive are where we added money to. Those are $155,000. We've already got budgeted money to take care of those. The other roads that are on the list, and these equate to nearly $400,000. And will be on flex funds. Now, how flex funds work, got education from Doug and Brittany. We got to spend the money. We got to have the bill. We got to be able to pay it, or at least send the bill to Frankfurt. They'll reimburse us, and then we pay Mayville.
No, we have to pay Mayville first.
With what
We
money?
pay-
There should be some ARPA
We
money.
pay, no.
We have $396,000 worth.
On the flex money and the discretionary both, we have to pay the bill, send them a copy of the invoice, with the canceled checks, then we'll get reimbursed.
That would be paid, that'd be paid out of general fund or the road fund?
You pay that road fund.
Yeah, but the road fund, sometimes we take general fund and add to it, because it's short, yeah. But anyway, I'll read these roads. Mike Brown Lane, Brashears, and that's not all of Brashears, it's this rough end of Brashears Creek on this end. And some of these other roads could be a portion of. Thompson Road, Goodlet Road, Farmer's Trace, Peachtree Lane, Charlene Court, Donna Court, Julia Court, River Park Boulevard, Copley, Turkey Run, Hickory Woods Court. These are all on flex funds.
What's the last one?
Hickory Woods Court.
Write all those down, you just really want them down.
Well, I got them in my office, and in fact, I'll get Brittany or Katie, I'll email all these to y'all tomorrow.
We talked about it'd be kind of hard to, even with the reapportionment now, that some of the districts may have changed on
Some of these
roads where it was done, so that made it even a little more confusing, because he was trying to put together what his district was all in.
But anyway, I wanted to read that to you all. Now, again, this doesn't include the discretionary. We had to get approved for the flex before we could apply for the discretionary, and I have applied for the discretionary. Nor do these include FEMA projects. And I've got a whole list on the wall over there of FEMA projects that.
Question, you say you apply for discretionary funds.
Yes.
And what amount do you ask for?
Well, you ask for the moon.
What,
And
what did you ask for?
I don't have that list here, I don't think. But anyway, we asked, here's the FEMA projects, I've showed you all that before. I probably got that discretionary list in here, but I don't know if it's the old one or the new one. Here it is, $556,000. But only the worst of the worst get approved.
Either way.
Oh, yeah, Hogan Road, Cooks Lane, Roberts Road, Lakeview Drive, Shooks Lane, Carruthers Lane, those are on my discretionary list that we turned in. You know, this is prepared the first day of June. So, but, yeah, 556,000, so I mean, we're looking at over $1 million of blacktop easy. But again, and there's a real good chance, you know, Todd thinks that these will all qualify. It just depends on how much money's still there. But anyway, it's in, the list is in. I'll get to, don't let me forget, Doug, I'll email this list to all of those. We'll get-
I mean, technically, what he read off, we've got about 400,000 of, a little above 400,000 on flex money that's been approved, and about 400,000 of general blacktop and
budgeted money.
that has been, they should come hopefully before too long to start on.
Well,
The discretionary though list has been sent off, like at zero, we may get
all of it.
all of it, you know, something up.
But, the one more item I have here for us to vote on, and then we'll get out of here before 9, easy. On page 97, you know, we set up our sanitation district, and we did not put into play, an amount of money they would make per meeting. Planning and zoning, I know they make $60. I think the Board of Elections makes $60. It's pretty standard. Paul Daughtery gave me a resignation letter today, so we're down to 4 members. I'm not asking about how we're gonna fill that or so forth, but anyway, I feel like that this sanitation district should be entitled to pay like the other committees we have.
I'll make a motion that we pay them $60 per meeting.
Second.
Okay, and I already have a motion by Jim, second by Dan, to pay the sanitation district the $60 per meeting. There's a list of the meeting dates that they have already, you all good with making it retroactive?
Sure.
Pay where they served? All right. Any other discussion on this? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Invoice, bills, and transfers. I had a few little, I always try to point out things that in case y'all had a question about. Chris and Robert are still here, which is good. Page 102. This is where we paid $2,000 a half to get the animal shelter. We already wrote that check. Page 103. Where we paid the struct to put in Lynn's countertops, $52.21. They do look really nice. On page 104. And I invite you guys, and Chris and Robert will invite you too. Go into EMS, walk around, look everything over. I saw their recliners, and I don't know if I saw their love seat, but anyway, they was looking a little ratty. But anyway, I approved that they could get a recliner and a love seat there, so 2 recliners and 1 love seat. But I just want to point that out to you. But again, I invite you all in there, and y'all make calls, make recommendations right on. But we gotta keep our people comfortable and not injured in a ready love seat or a ready recliner. So anyway, just want to point that out, entertain a motion to pay the bills and make the transfers.
I had the 3 transfers before you get the motion.
Yes.
And I'll email them to the clerk first thing in the morning.
All right.
For the soft zone, transfer the 50,000, technically setting up a new account for the soft zone, take it from the capital project to other. Transfer 25,000 to a new account for this park recreation for the road, so forth, and then it becomes the capital project to other. And then we need to do a transfer for 155,000 to the flex funds, because we budgeted 200-some thousand in that neighborhood to do flex, and we're getting 400-some thousand, we're getting 2 years in one.
399.
Or something, so I got $150,000 transfer, and about the only place to take it right now is, take it against one of the salary line items right now, and when we do a budget amendment, we'll put that money back.
Basically, what Doug said in a nutshell, we cannot agree to spend money, you can't even write a purchase order on an account that don't have the money in it. So that flex fund account is below where it needs to be, is why we need to make that transfer on the other part. Now, my question, Doug, on that, since we already budgeted $50,000 for the salt structure, how do we gotta make that change?
Well, right now, we transferred this other money into that line out of where we had the 50,000. We're just making a new one so where we can just keep up with all the expenses that go with the salt zone out of that one account. So whether it's Mattingly's, paying for concrete, paying for things that go with that, if y'all ask and say how much money it costs us to do the salt zone, it'll be the only thing that's coming out of that one account. Now, it may not include Todd or whoever's labor, some of the guys like that, but it will include the money we physically wrote a check to somebody else.
Motion to pay the bills and make the transfer that Doug just mentioned.
All right, have a motion by Zach, second by Will to pay the bills and make the transfers that Doug mentioned. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Zach, second by Mike to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Turn your camera.
Told you I'd get out of here by 9.
It's 9:03.
Hopefully you were running a party, won't you?
I will. Always.
And then we'll probably the first week in October, might be bringing a budget amendment in because we need to put some more money where it's in the road fund to take care of this flex and some of these things. And hopefully we've been holding off on doing it because we're hoping to hear something on discretionary. We have a contract with the state.
Well, let's straight off.